Okay, so starting lesson 4 here. We're going to start off with the 9 patch blocks. I'm going to do this video even though I think most of you probably have or will finish this in class, but I'll go ahead and do the video for this anyway. So the 9 patch blocks, what you're going to need for those are the 2.5 by 8 inch rectangles. You cut 3 from your background and 3 from one of your fat quarters. And what you need to do is you need to sew those into 2 strip sets. So one strip set will have your fat quarter fabrics on the outside, the other will have your background fabrics on the outside, and you're going to sew these basically into 2 sets, and always press the seam towards the fat quarter. So this strip set we're going to press away from the center, this strip set we're going to press towards the center. So let me get those sewn together first. Okay, so I've got these sewn together. That's my 2 strip sets, and if we look at them from the back, you can see that this one I pressed out the way towards the fat quarter, this one I pressed in the way towards the fat quarter. So now that we've got these made, we're going to subcut them. You may find that you need to square off one edge before you do that, and you do have some room to do that. We're going to be cutting 3 2.5 inch wide segments. It's 8 inches long, so that gives you an extra ½ inch. So if you do need to square up, you can do that. And I'm gonna do that with this here. I'm just gonna cut off a little bit, and then I'm gonna turn it and start cutting. And then of course I'll be able to measure from that really nice straight edge that I just cut. I'm gonna cut that at 2.5 inches wide, and I'm gonna be cutting 3 of those. 1, and sometimes you might find that the reason why you have to square up is maybe when you pressed your fabric, things just got stretched a little bit. Sometimes we don't always get the edges perfectly lined up, and that's why I like to have just that little extra. Okay, so that's our 3 segments. We're going to do the same thing here. So first thing I'm going to do is just go ahead and square up. Now I'm lining up the top edge here with one of my horizontal lines there, just so that when I do square this up, I'm getting a nice 90-degree angle there. Take that off, and now let's turn it so that we can cut from this side. Okay, 2.5 inches wide. Another 2.5 inches. So I do, the bit that I'm cutting, I try my best not to have to move it with every cut. Sometimes you do have to reposition, but if you've got a nice sharp blade and you're not having any problems with not getting cut all the way through, then you may be able to just do this without having to move that main piece. Okay, so that's everything cut. Now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be making 2 9 patch blocks. So one of our 9 patch blocks is going to have the sort of the fat quarters on the outside and the center, and then the other one's going to have the background on the outsides and the center. So they're going to be sort of the opposite of each other. Now because we always pressed our seams towards the fat quarter, it means that in this segment here the seams are going out, and in this segment they're going in. So that means you're going to be able to put that right sides together. You're going to lock those 2 seams and pin, lock those 2 seams and pin, and then of course put a pin on either side. So you're going to press that after you've sewn it, and then you're going to do the other one on the other side, and just follow the pressing instructions per the written instructions that you have. Let me just take these away and sew them, and I'll bring them back. Okay, so we've got these put together now. So if you look at your instructions, you'll see that your instructions say to press this one that has the fat quarters, the 5 fat quarter squares. You're pressing that one to the left if you're looking at it from the front. The one with just the 4 fat quarter squares, you're pressing that to the right. And then you're ready to put these together. So your instructions has you putting this one on top, this one underneath. Again, right sides together. Because of the way that you've just pressed those, you're going to be able to just slide those two seams together, lock and pin those. And do the same thing with this one here. Slide them in till you feel them hit each other. Lock and pin that. And I would also put a pin at near the end and near the beginning as well. So that, and then we're gonna press the seam up the way. Okay, that's our 2 9-patch blocks sewn together. Press the seam, that center seam, up towards the top, and that's it. You're all done with your 2 9-patch blocks.